Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's ACY Securities webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper. So tonight's webinar is Forex Trading Live Market Analysis, which we'll get into in a moment. Coming up tomorrow, I'll be going through the education webinar called Range Trading Using Fibonacci. So if you want to join me for that, then you're more than welcome to join me. Just use the webinar link to register your interest, or you can scan this link in the video here. So that's tomorrow's webinar at 8 PM Sydney time. Just register your interest if you want to join me. Coming up is live market analysis. Before we get into that, if you can read through the disclaimer, please, everybody. Any questions to the chat box or the Q&A box? Got both open. Okay, we'll move along. For those that don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm the Senior Market Strategist and Training Mentor here at ACY Securities. And full-time Forex trader. Been trading in the Forex market now for more than 20 years, mentoring for more than 10. And if you want to contact me about the webinars, my email's there, duncan.cooper@acy.com. And through the week, you can connect with me on our website, acy.com, go to the Market News tab, at ACY Securities Australia on YouTube. And if you want to connect with me personally, my Linktree page is there. Any access to the charts I'm using, just contact Nathan Bray's emails are on screen, nathan.bray@acy.com. And for those in the webinars, please details in the chat. He'll only be too happy to set you up and have a chat with you. Here we go. All right, so let us get first of all into just checking my other screen. Get into the news for the week, first of all. So I like to go to forexfacts.com and just look at the red calendar events. Time shown on my time, Queensland time. So getting into Tuesday at the moment. Not much going on today in the red items. We've already had the red items for the day. We've had the Aussie Monetary Policy Meeting minutes, which suggests that maybe interest rates aren't further coming in terms of cuts, but we'll have to wait and see. So Wednesday, 10:30 AM, Aussie, GDP coming out. Midnight, or should I say midday, PM, 12 PM, US, President Trump speaks. 5:30 PM for the Swiss, we've got CPI month on month, so inflation data. 11:15 PM for the US, we have ADP and non-farm employment change figures. 1 in the morning on Thursday, ISM Services PMI. All-day Euro Summit. And we also have the Eurozone main refinancing rate, expecting 25 basis point cut there. Monetary policy statement, 11:30 unemployment claims for the US, and then 11:45 for the Eurozone, the ECB press conference. So it'll be volatile at that time, usually between 11:15 and I should say 12:15. Euro cross is going to be highly volatile through that period. Then the last big one for the week, Friday in the evening, we have the Canadian job figures coming out, unemployment rate, employment change, and for the US, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. So that's the big one for the US this week. And of course, the market will be looking to see whether numbers weaken. If they do, that may be more suggestive of an interest rate cut. If they're remaining very, very strong, that doesn't help an interest rate cut. And then Fed Chair Powell speaks at 3:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. So he may obviously commentate about the job figures and anything else. Tariffs have been coming in, got confirmed for, I think it was Canada and Mexico yesterday, which the stock market didn't like. So let's get to the charts. Just be aware of the red items coming out for the week. And I've been away a week, but this is the weekly chart of the dollar index. And you can see this week, even though we were positive last week, we are negative this week. And we're starting to move below Some significant tops here. These are monthly. While this is a weekly chart, this is a monthly top. This is a monthly top that we're moving back below potentially. So at the moment, are we coming down to target this weekly low at 105.385? And the big question is, as I've got my fib drawn across this range, have we topped out at the 62 level? And long term, is the US dollar going to be coming down to test these lows? Maybe falling through the 120 extension. I said early January. I thought maybe we topped out early January. And at the moment, it's looking directionally as though that is unfolding, okay? Of course, it's a move down there is going to be all data driven, but just from a trend perspective at the moment, it's looking like a downtrend has formed. We have a lower top, lower bottom on the weekly, just 1 week up last week. And are we continuing down this week? We break this low, 10600. That's going to be highly suggestive that we've had 1 week up only, and then we're going to have maybe 3 or 4 weeks down. All right, so if we break that low, it's highly suggestive of another leg down on the weekly, which would mean that we're going to be moving up on pairs to the US dollar, okay? S&P 500, which I said has been moving down. On the weekly chart here, there's a range I've been monitoring. Yes, we've broken this low here, but we're trading within this area. And we dropped down to the 79% level. We did get support Monday, came up, then sold down on the tariffs. But for those trading this indices, or I should say index, if it's getting support at the 79% level intraday, that would be a good level to watch for the buyers, and a setup intraday to buy at 58.48. Of course, if we get some intraday support here, we want to be moving above 59.13. This area of old support. All right, so can we get some support, and can we move back above 59.13? If we get back above 59.13, then when we look at 59.13 to be support over the next few days. So can we come up? And are we can we come back up to the highs? I've seen some economists speculating that the US market's topped, but I'm not that convinced. We would need to do a lot more damage, I think. If we go to the monthly chart, we're in an uptrend on the monthly chart. So 1 or 2 months down here, 1 or 2 months down here does not change the trend for me. We would need to negate this low here to really start to see a bear market. We could just come down within this range. You know, 62, 79% retracement to put in the next major low to continue up, because we are higher top, higher bottom. We can put a minor top in here, higher bottom. Top maybe, do we put in another higher bottom? We would need to break a low to see a bear market of any significance. And of course, we don't have that at the moment. So I'm a little bit more that we're just going to maybe stay within this range. Well, I need more evidence that a sustained downward move is going to form. I need to see that 79% level not hold. Okay. All right, euro dollar. I think we're having a bottoming out process here. We did trade down to the weekly chart. We did have a week down last week, testing the previous month's high, and then we traded down for a week, but we're buoyant following tariffs, following the start of the week. Really, we just have some hurdles to move above this weekly top here at 105.33. And I've been saying since early January that maybe we put a bottom down here because we were overextended. And I'm anticipating that we're coming back up within this high to low range. All right, and I've been saying that imbalance here and up here may need to be filled. Now, right where price is right now, it is not the best area. And if you're much more on the short side than I am, 105.16 we're trading at. So if we start to fail at these highs, so there's a high here, 105.14, 105.28, weekly high 105.33. Well, we couldn't trade above last week. Of course, if we start to hold and want to start to move and fail back below 105, that could be a good selling level for the week. For the buyers, we probably want to see this area broken, this high, 105.33 to become support at some point. Use this resistance area to be support for the next move up. All right. 106.00 as well would be the next level after 105 for the sellers. But I'm very much in the frame of mind that this is coming up long term. So you just need to look for a very good opportunity to get long. That's what I'm looking for anyway. So I'm not looking to get long in at these highs. I could entertain on the 4-hour chart now. And this is if price does it. You know, if price was to hold here and then come back down deep, I could look at the 79% retracement down here, look at this area for support in any event. Not textbook inverted head and shoulders, but if that sort of came together down here, that would catch my interest for an opportunity to get long. So I don't want to long. I don't want to get long. I don't want to be buying into where we are right now. Should have got long Monday if you want to get long, because now the market's going to ask the question, can we break above the highs to the left, or are we going to once more come back down? So which side of the market are you on? Are you looking up here for a shorting opportunity? And for a shorting opportunity as well, we could look for on this 4-hour chart. If we're going to fail up here, let's say we can't take out last week's high here. So that's last week's high down to last week's low. If we started to come back down, and then of course we fail back underneath the 79% level, you could look to get short close to here, stop above, and you could look to short side of target and move back down this way. But I don't think that's the play. But if you know, you may well be on the short side of the market, looking for the opportunity at short. That may eventuate, and obviously you can look for that to see where they can come together if you want to play the short side. Euro yen. Now the euro yen, if we go to the weekly chart, lots of support down here. If I go to the monthly chart, we have a monthly low here, a monthly low here, 2 months of rejection here, another rejection there. So that monthly low, that monthly low, that monthly low, we're holding above those levels. All right, so there's lots of support here. So I would not be trying to be selling into this area. I would be looking for, can the market, if the market trades into that area, does it want to reverse back up? You can see we're in a long period of consolidation here. This is not, if you've got short up here, great, you can be holding, but getting short into this area is not ideal. And you can see, I can already see a possible little head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder pattern forming here. 4-hour chart. So I would, being greedy, I would look down in this area or towards 155.57, the 79% retracement. So looking for that to come down, putting the right shoulder to come up. Now it might not want to move back, it might not want to get below 156.17. It's a weekly area of support over here. So you have to pick where you would like maybe to engage to get in here. This area here, 156.19 down to 157. So 156.19 down to 155.57, that area there. What happens in that area? There's lots of support there. You can see last week we moved below that area. See how we were range bound here. Dropped below, false broke, came back up. So I will look at that area for support. We've already touched that area today. So you may have missed the opportunity. That support could well be support just here. 156.19. All right. So we get an inverse head and shoulder forming there and move up from support. Euro pound, which is not my favorite. Monthly trend is down. Lower bottom, lower top, but a 62% retracement. But we're back down into long-term monthly support here. I don't want to sell into there because last time we traded into the area, we bounced strongly up. So weekly trend is, well, we've had a higher top here, but that was a rally on the monthly chart, so I don't really call that a change in trend. It's just not in a great area to be selling with the trend. And daily, I think really if we close back above 82.76, which is monthly support from over here on the left, that's a little bit suggestive that we would come back up the range. So personally, if I needed to trade the euro pound, I would wait to see if we close above 82.76. And then, so if we closed above, do we see intraday the next day, 82.76 to be support? You can see the support that formed all the way through here. Does that area become support for a move back up the range? Be very aware that we're at major support. So that's not where I want to sell. I am more interested in seeing the opportunity for a reversal. And of course, we've got the interest rate decision from the Eurozone on Thursday. So got to be cautious with the Euro pairs, I think, as we're waiting for that decision. Pound dollar. Weekly chart. Much like my commentary on the euro dollar, I feel we've loaded in early January. We're going to come back up within this high to low range. You know, long term, I don't know if we're going to get support here to move all the way up, or we're going to come up for a rally maybe to the 79% level because there's a good high over here, which overlaps there. And long term, we may go like that. But I think most immediately, though, I think the bias is to the upside because we need to come up to form the top. That's if we're going to come up for a lower top area. We may be coming up to take out the high. But I think the bias is we're going to come up this way in the next couple of months. Negative week last week, but we're up this week to a new high. And we had a little bit of a double bottom here. So if that's true double bottom, we will target for that little double bottom here. 200% level comes at 128.67, just as a reference. Now it's a bit late to get in for the double bottom because we've already come up to test the high. So the question with this double bottom is, so there's the pattern. Are we coming up to the 200% level? Now, I like to get in by the 79% level so you can maximize your opportunity to make profit if it's going to be a true double bottom. Now, it's just testing last week's high at the moment. And can we move off and through? Now, we have an imbalance here, more to the left up here that we may fill through the course of the next few months. I'm inclined to think that we might come up to these ones. So getting long at some point and holding it to this high area up here, about 133.50 area approximately. That's like 600 pips away. So biases to the upside. Market's just asking here, can we move through, which obviously at the moment we can't, but 127.15 was the high of last week. What I'd like to see on the 4-hour chart is we come above, we pull back. So we need a break above today. Tomorrow pull back to 127.15 or back down to 127.100. All right, to be support. And then that would offer you an area to be buying from to move above last week's high and last month's high. Last week's high, last month's high there, that we're just continuing with. All right. Day trends up. Everything's flowing upwards at the moment. So I just don't want to be buying into last week's high, last month's high. And I'd like that area to break to become support. All right. So some of these pairs, you just need to wait for your opportunity. That resistance break to become support. Pound yen. Now, on the monthly chart here, last month, we came down to this area of support. And we had two rather large monthly candles here where we came below and rejected. So strong support at 186.75. That's well worth what, if all you did all month was watch 186.75 now to see if price comes down there, that could be the best buying level for the month. Because quite clearly it's support. On the weekly chart, we've got support here. We've actually maybe put a slightly higher bottom in just there. So whether we can come down to the area again this month, I don't know. Daily, little inverse head and shoulder pattern there, following maybe like the euro yen. See it close on the 4-hour chart. There's your left shoulder. And not wanting to get down. Once we put that high in, we're just coming back down to here, opposite that low there. If I was trying to trade this, I'd be going at the 79% level, 188.59. Put below the low. Targeting last month's high, 193.13. 127 extension over last month's high. So do we get a little bit of a dip into the 79% level? Can a right shoulder form there for a move up? All right, Aussie yen. Aussie yen's a bit weaker than the pound and pound yen, euro yen. Monthly chart. We do have a lower top and a higher bottom here. So long-term trend, not quite sure if we've changed trend or we're just mixed. Weekly trend is down. Bottom, lower top. This is a lower bottom. This area here, 93.58, is the level to watch for the sellers to move down to 90.13. This is a clear buy area because that's a massive rejection from that point. So price coming down here, rejecting, holding and rejecting this month. So some of these pairs, I'm just looking at where would I like to trade. 90.13, the 90 level. What happens if we get down there? All right. Daily. So we've already moved below that weekly level, 93.58. So any movement back to there for the bias to be the seller, you want to look at that level to be resistance to trade down to 90.13. Price getting above 93.58 is not good for the sellers. If we start to want to move back above that level, we're probably coming back up the range. So that would be the first play to look at. Do we hold at 93.58 in a rally to continue to move down? If we move above, you look at 93.58 for support. So that's the key level at the moment to watch. The sellers need to hold that level to keep us moving down to 90.13. And for sure, through the course of the month, if we get down to 90.13 or 90.100, expect a bounce. We could bounce there and come all the way back up to at least here, if not here. And if we want to get strong support, we could come all the way back up to 102. So this is a key area to watch through the course of the month. If we start to want to hold here, expect to move back up. And how big does the move back up become? Because of this big move down last year, there are some imbalances in here that may need to be filled. I'll just put one in. There's an area there. There's another area up here, but that's the first big area. Price might want to get support here to come all the way back up to fill this area. So if we see through the course of the month this area want to hold, it may be one of the prime times of the year to get a good positional play, depending on what's happening in the market, okay? Just want to look to the 4-hour chart. So I would monitor this 4-hour range and see if my 79% level, if this keeps moving down, drag it down. What I'd like to see is that, you know, in a perfect world, that we get something like this. Price moves down and then rallies. My 79% level overlaps with the resistance at 93.58. At the moment, that's not too bad. The 62% level is in the vicinity, but I much prefer a 79% level. All right, so do we see that sort of price action? Right, Aussie, it's getting support at 62. You can see here on my day chart that we've been down today, but we're rejecting ahead of 61.70. 61.70 is this monthly low here, where we've traded below, traded at and traded below then 2 months, but we couldn't hold below that level and we can't quite get down there now. So I think 62 is becoming support. So any retagging of 62 is where I would look. 62 down to 61.70. There's a monthly low here on the weekly chart. That's the area to watch. And again, an inverted head and shoulder pattern could be on the cards here. If we came down to 79% retracement level at 61.55, if we could get deeper down, I don't know whether we can or we can't, but 61.70 down to 61.55. Look at this area as support for the left shoulder. And do we form a right shoulder here? We might not get down there. We could be rejecting already today. 62, I think, is maybe becoming support. So really, I'm already long at 62. So, but if I wasn't, 62 would be my play today. And we've just false broke last week's low, and maybe that's what we've done. We false broke last week's low and we're coming up. So, you know, I can already see an uptrend here intraday. Watch for the next pullback intraday to see if we can then continue up. When you see this occurring, there's the figure. We went below, came back above, the figure became support to move up. So it's false broken 62. It's dropped below 62 to gobble up the orders. When it came back above 62, it became support. So I'm still very much thinking that we've bottomed down here and we're moving up into this zone up here, about 69. That's my forecast at the moment. course, I could be wrong, but we have a higher top. We're putting in a higher bottom area here to continue up. And if we finish with a nice rejection candle today, that will add weight to the fact that then we're going to be continuing up tomorrow. All right, New Zealand yen. So I'm going to go to the monthly chart. We're coming down to a major monthly low, 83.02. And the next one, 80.43. Lots of support down here and a massive rejection on this low here. So coming down to support, weekly trend is down, it's overextended. I will be watching 83.02 at the moment. If we reject, you start to see the 4-hour chart, 15-minute chart turning trend there. I would look for a reversal back up. Now, price may not have a major change in trend, but I think here, this is a level to watch, 83.02, for a reversal back up to at least 86.71. That could hold to move down. So this is the key area I would be watching at the moment, 83.02. Does that offer support? That was a massive rejection down there. You would expect, or I would expect, some buying pressure down there. I would not be selling down here. If I'm short, I would be looking to hit profits down here. Or locking my stop in, locking my profits in real tight. Of course, we could break here to move down there, but this isn't where I want to sell. And the 4-hour trend's still down here at the moment. So if the 4-hour trend starts to turn up, then I could start to think, okay, after testing, I want to see this level tested, and then what does price do? Do we start to hold and want to change trend on the 4-hour chart to up? All right, New Zealand dollar. Very similar looking price action here on my weekly chart to the Aussie. We have a higher top. We're going to put in a higher bottom here. We got a fraction short by a few pips of this major low here. Are we coming back up to 63, 69 area once more this year, which is strong resistance? Daily chart starting to maybe reverse down here. Didn't quite get down to the 79% level, but it's getting above the 62 level. For our charts, putting in a high bottom here. Time to look for your setup to get long, I think. Getting support at 62. I think all we've done over this side, there's stops underneath these lows. They've all been taken out by the big players. Then they've moved it up, pull back, and we're starting to take out that top. That's back into an uptrend, and we're probably coming back up to at least test this high. So look for your setup to buy. I don't think we're looking to sell. I think a higher bottom is going to be forming here on the weekly chart. Okay. Dollar CAD has been in a great area. Today gave you, and yesterday, the opportunity maybe to sell. I've been saying once we folks broke this double top monthly area that we would sell down and then have some form of rally. Sold down here on the weekly, lower bottom, or rallied up. 62% level, I think. Just a fraction short, but this is the primary area that we folks broke yesterday. So we folks broke on these 2 days before we had that gap up on the Monday, came straight back down. Whilst it's not textbook, for me is that a head, sorry, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Today you should be watching 145.15, 14500, 145.15, because that was the area to get short. We're going to see that kind of price action. So we got volatility to the upside yesterday when the tariffs got announced, but we can't hold there. And now we really need to drop down to 4-hour charts. And could have traded the break of that rejection candle, but it's too late now. So really now you want to see price action structurally really change trend, rally, can form a smaller head and shoulder pattern to continue down that way. So now you want it to drop, then rally, and look for the opportunity to sell. Of course, if we come back up to 145.15, because anything can happen over the next few days, that would be the level to watch. It's quite clearly we failed there 2 days in a row. Right, dollar franc. On the weekly chart, it's in this kind of triangular pattern, but the weekly trend has turned to down. We're moving back below this area of support now at 89.57. And we're getting towards maybe the profit-taking phase of this move. So down, rally, then I'll be watching to see where this now finishes. Then look for the next rally and sell the top of the next rally. This, this is coming into the profit-taking area. So I'd need to see another rally occur if I wanted to trade that. But the bias is definitely to the downside. I just like to sell a rally rather than selling at the bottom of the move. Okay. But it's very much top of the triangular range. I would anticipate, if you like to trade the dollar franc, that we're moving down towards 83.74, 8400 over the coming months. It's a question of selling a rally, targeting that area. All right, dollar yen. Just needs to get, if we are doing the down 79% retracement, we're doing this. We don't want to sell into this area at the moment. We want to see, this is my weekly chart. We want to see that break, like so. Break, become resistance to trade down from. You don't want to be selling into support. Now the day chart, I've been saying if we're continuing down here, we may be coming to feel this imbalance down here. The quick question is this weekly level of support here at 148.63. Is it going to break or is it going to hold? So there's two, you could be looking for this to hold today. If this gives you a reversal candle and day chart, then tomorrow you're going to be looking to a lower time frame to get long. Or if we break below there, then you want to be looking for an intraday move back to 148.63 to be 4-hour chart. You want to see the 4-hour chart hold here and give you some sense that price is bottoming to get long. Or you want to see a clear break below here on the 4-hour chart, then a rally back, trade down. So if anything at the moment, the play would be, as we're not breaking support, the technical play is to trade support. So we rejected support, came up. There's a 79% level that we're holding out on the 50-minute candle. Depending on your bias, do you want to be getting long here? Bounced off support, Can we come back down to 79% level? Are we moving up? In the short term, could be moving up in the long term. Right, so the key level is 148.63, the weekly support low. Is it holding? Potentially is at the moment, intraday. Of course, as news items come out, that level could break. The higher time frame structure is most definitely a 79% retracement, potentially moving down long term. So personally, if I was trading a dollar yen, I would be much more inclined to, if I don't see a day chart reversal, I would wait to see if this breaks and trade with break, rally back to trade down, because the high time frame trends are downwards here. All right, you're definitely going against the major flow. You know, if all you did was look for, rallies, see here we broke support. Where did we rally back to? Didn't draw that very well. Broke support. Where did we rally back to? Support becomes resistance. So I want to break support. All right. It offered it there. When I was talking about the 79% retracements last month, I discussed this level, this one here. So it breaks down, rallies, breaks down, rallies. You want to break down, rally. All right. If you're sold up here, you could still be short now. That's a great trade. All right, so high time frame bias is definitely down, but the big question is, can we break 148.63? Now, over the next few days, day chart candles here may be starting to tell you that we're holding there. Then you maybe have to think about, do I want to trade to the long side? All right, we'll just finish on gold, which to the weekly chart, we had a week down last week, but we're already coming back up, and we probably have only had a week down, and we're moving to fresh highs. All right, we can't come back down to an old area of resistance on the weekly chart before buyers are coming in. All right, 4 hour trends up. I would look to the 4 hour range. So that's the high bottom, drag it to the top. I would look for a retracement to the 62-79% area. This will probably change. You'll probably have to keep dragging that fib up in the short term, but look to the retracement area for the opportunity to see price reverse on a lower time frame to trade up. Don't be trading at the top of a move. All right. We're probably going to come up to test last week's high, but I don't want to trade at the top of a move, top of a candle. I want to buy some form of dip. Okay. So still a very strong trend. I think last week we sold off, of course, last week on pairs like the Aussie, New Zealand, Euro dollar, pound dollar, but it looks like we at best just had that sell-off intra-week before reversing back up this week. So the US dollar is definitely under pressure at the moment. Let's just go back to the euro. What's it doing? It's coming up to test the highs, 105.23 at the moment, as I've been saying. Not what I want to buy, but I think the market's going to attempt to break through those highs today. I would look at 105.33 at some point to be support. Pound dollar, still keeping on. Last week's high, watch that to be support, 127.15 down to 127.00 on a pullback. Which could occur today. Now that we've had a clear break above there at the moment, today we could pull back to 127.15. That would be a good area to look for a buy, down to 127.00. All right, so that's my thoughts on the market. So the news events really to consider are on Thursday here, the Eurozone interest rate decision, expecting 25 basis point cut. And of course, the job figures from the US and into Saturday morning, Fed chairperson speaks, right? Those are the items that could affect the market. And as well, I know tomorrow President Trump speaking, and of course he's talking about war in Ukraine, like he kind of doesn't support Ukraine anymore, is my feeling. Plus, it's adding tariffs here, there, and everywhere. So, you know, look for structured setups, pullbacks with the trend after the release of news announcements. Okay, that's what I'm doing. All right, if you want to catch me tomorrow, I will be going through the range trade using Fibonacci. Just head over to the link at the top. If you want to join me for that, just register your interest and I'll see you there. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the week. If you like me, I'm on the Gold Coast. I've got a cyclone coming soon, so should be okay for tomorrow's webinar. Hopefully, I managed to get through everything in the latter end of the week, and I'll be back with you next week as well. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great day.